Und da wären wir auch schon wieder zurück bei einer weiteren Runde von Fire Emblem Three Houses. Wir sind hier in Diedru, der Hauptstadt von der Allianz, mehr oder weniger. Unsere Aufgabe ist es, Cloud zu besiegen. Da haben wir beim letzten Mal schon große Fortschritte gemacht. Wir haben Hilda getötet, die stand hier. Die konnte man, soweit ich weiß, auch nicht für diesen Part anwerben. Weil, naja, sie ist, naja, es sollte offensichtlich sein, warum man sie nicht anwerben kann. So, und wir werden hier gleich noch ein bisschen aufräumen, dass wir die letzten Fähigkeitspunkte für unsere Klasse kriegen. Und wenn wir mit der nämlich durchkommen, wieder in die Pegasus-Klasse zurückwechseln. Oder keine Ahnung, weiß noch nicht wohin. Und dann wird sich Ingrid mal um Cloud kümmern. Das sollte sie eigentlich hinkriegen, weil er keinen Schutz hat gegen Pfeile. Sie aber schon. Au, natürlich trifft sie.
All is going to plan.
A laughable improvement.
Aha.
Pathetic.
Predictable.
So, das reicht nämlich ganz genau. Heilige Kraft. Dann kannst du mit einem hinterhältigen Angriff ankolken und den kaputt hauen. Reicht genau.
You knew the odds.
Oh, einzelne Plus erhalten, dankeschön. So, schnappen wir den.
You fought well.
Keep it up.
Sehr schön. So, dann wollen wir uns noch mal angucken, wie das aussieht. Ach ja, er hat ja Nimmerfehl, das macht so viel Schaden. Jetzt muss sich Lisi da gleich drum kümmern. Die ist ja so eine Glaskanone. Reicht gar nicht. Es sei denn, sie trifft. Wenn sie nicht trifft, ist sie jetzt dran. So geht's auch.
So sad that our reunion should take place on the battlefield.
So close.
Ich fühle mich verarscht.
Just be careful.
So.
For the Empire.
I'm awake.
Stell dich mal dahin.
More fighting.
Dann befallst du Lenny. Und dann porten wir da gleich mal Edelgard drüber. Ach, mir ist das genau ein Feld, ist doch echt nicht wahr. Also die kann ihren Laufradius voll ausschöpfen.
Well done.
So, kann sich der Edelgard nächste Runde drum kümmern.
We
So.
haven't seen each other since Garreg Mach. You've grown lovelier than ever, Edelgard.
You're not so unfortunate yourself. And as usual, you're here at a most inopportune moment.
Well, I'm sure we have much to talk about. But how about we settle things first?
No objections here. Prepare yourself, Claude.
Ist doch nicht wahr.
What's the plan?
Wenn der erste Schaden gegen dich immer daneben geht, dann machen wir das so.
Just be careful.
What's my strategy? For the Empire.
Jetzt nimmst du deine Waffe und haust den einmal richtig.
You're not.
Well,
No objection.
So. Schläger hat er verdient. Oh, gutes Level-Up.
enough. You've bested me. If I die here, the Alliance becomes part of the Empire.
Do you yield then? You've never known when to give up.
Well, I can't just surrender so easily. I'm responsible for the others. If you're as smart as you seem, I bet you figured out why I was able to summon Almiran reinforcements. Wouldn't it be better to let me go and have me in your debt?
Verschonen wir.
Thank you, Professor. And you, Edelgard. I'm truly grateful for your courageous decision.
Ich hoffe, das
I
bereuen
will
wir nicht.
return your kindness one day. I promise.
Everybody, raise your voices in a victory cheer. Deirdre is ours.
Wir müssen nicht mehr töten als nötig. Verdient. Ich hoffe nur, er hält sein Versprechen. Sonst werde ich wütend.
My, thank you so much.
Und dann rollen Köpfe. Nämlich seine.
Hey, Teach.
Claude,
Settle down, will you? You're the victor, after all. I could have escaped, but I decided to say hi to Teach. Nothing to worry about. Deirdre has fallen and the Alliance has collapsed. There's nothing I could do to turn things around at this point.
you want me to drop my guard around someone who evaded detection by my soldiers? Impossible. Did you really risk coming here just to say hello?
I did. But mostly, I wanted to say goodbye. I'm leaving Fódlan.
Warum?
I dare say Fódlan would be a lot more peaceful without me around. Right, Your Majesty?
It's as you say. So long as you remain here, the faction of the Alliance that is against the Empire will continue to support you.
Too true. It's best if I leave this place altogether. I'll just have to find some other way to pay back my debt to you. All I ask is that you go easy on the Alliance. After all, no one there would dare defy you now. And please treat my former classmates well. I've asked them to cooperate with you if I lost.
Wait, did your scheming include a plan for if the Alliance lost?
You think too highly of me. It just seems that way now. Outside of Deirdre, most of the Alliance is unscathed and ready to join your superior strength. In all honesty, I was hoping to become a supreme ruler and lead Fódlan to peace myself. But that won't be happening now.
Claude.
Good luck to you, Edelgard.
We crushed him in battle, and yet... he really is difficult to understand.
Lady Edelgard, Deirdre is now completely under our control. As planned, the Alliance's affairs will now be overseen by Count Burgles.
My father is coming here? First west, then east. You sure keep him busy.
Should the others return to the monastery and prepare to face the kingdom?
Yes, thank you, Hubert. Thanks to all of your efforts, our battle with the Alliance has reached its conclusion. However, we still can't afford to be careless. We must now join the battle against the kingdom. With the strength of the Church on their side, they will prove to be a formidable enemy. More than ever, your support is invaluable. We'll need it in the days to come. But for now, let's enjoy our triumphant return.
Let's get to it!
I'm so happy that the end of the fighting is near. Too bad there's still more violence to come. The Kingdom and the Church of Seros are worthy for fighting. I will crush them into very small pieces.
Crushing wouldn't yield a lot of pieces, but I guess it would get the job done. With the Professor, we can't lose. Probably.
Oh no, are we fighting Lady Rhea? But she's scary, and she'll be really angry. But no way she can stay in her spooky beast form all the time, right? If she could, she would have come and attacked the monastery as many times as she wanted.
It may be wishful thinking, but perhaps it is a power that she can only access when the situation is dire. But whether she is the Archbishop or the Immaculate One, we cannot be stopped. Half remains, but half is finished. We are certainly moving forward.
No one can stop us from pushing forward. No one.
Part 2. Crimson Flower. Pegasus Moon. Tempest of Swords and Shields. With Deirdre under Imperial control, the Leicester Alliance ceases to exist, and its remaining lords ally themselves with the Empire. The Black Eagle Strike Force, having now conquered all of Eastern Fódlan, confidently moves to invade the kingdom.
Wir müssen die Weltkarte ändern auf dem Bild. Die Allianz gehört doch jetzt zum Kaiserreich. Da müsste jetzt eigentlich auch Kaiserreich stehen. Ja, Sie wünschen?
And that concludes Count Bergliez's report. Just as Claude said, the old alliance has willingly fallen under Imperial rule. However, knowing him, there is no telling what manner of poison could be waiting within. We must be careful not to expose any weakness.
Of course, though it seems we can now attack the kingdom without issue.
True. However, you should know that Lord Arundel has entered Deirdre. It would seem he has already started collecting the relics of the old alliance.
Let him do as he pleases for now. It's not yet the time to chide him.
Understood. As for the kingdom, as we theorized, it is not entirely united. If we defeat the royal family of House Blathed, and a handful of other notable houses, it should fall under our control quite readily. Those we must target include the houses Fraldarius, Galatea, Gautier, and Karen. We have allies who are close to some of those lords. Perhaps that can be used to our advantage. Persuasion by tears or threats. Perhaps one would consent to act as a hostage. We must make good use of the tools given to us.
What about House Rowe in Aryan Road, the fortress city? Will they not side with us?
The head of House Fraldarius, Lord Rodrigue, has entered the city. It is possible that he has seized it.
I see. Then it might prove too difficult to strike Ferdiad right away.
Either way, when preparations are complete, we can begin our deployment into the kingdom.
That part of the plan remains unchanged. Professor, is something wrong?
Die Namen sagen mir eigentlich. Doch, alles in Ordnung. Die Namen sagen mir was.
This month, we must again put all of our effort into preparing for battle. I'm counting on you, my teacher.
Ich meine, die Hälfte der Namen sind Väter von Leuten, die wir im Team haben. Also, Edel, warum hast du so geschrien?
Professor, you didn't hear anything just now, did you?
Nein, ich habe nichts gehört. Ich bin nur zufällig hier. Alles okay?
Of course I am. It's nothing. Nothing at all.
Bist du sicher?
I told you it was nothing and I meant it. It's
Okay.
just... Well, there was a rat. I don't enjoy the company of rats.
Ja, wer tut das
I
schon?
believe I've told you about this before. About when I was held captive beneath the palace. There were a lot of rats there. To this day, I just...
Ist das... Sind
What?
das Briefe?
Oh, Professor, leave here at once. I recall now that Hubert needs to speak with me. I must change my clothes. Now, whatever you do, don't look this way.
Aber habe ich doch... Was ist hier los?
Then forget what you saw. That's an order.
Was ist hier los? Sefi ist verwirrt. Mit sowas kann ich doch nicht umgehen. Oh, Heinemann hat Geburtstag.
Thank you.
Happy Birthday! So, wir haben Kämpfe. Wie lange sind die verfügbar? Bis zum 4. Heiliger Bimbam. Schon wieder? Doppelt so viele Belohnungen. Na toll. Heiliger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alle bis zum 4. Welchen sind wir denn jetzt? Wir sind im 2. sind wir, glaube ich, ne? Sind wir im 2.? Steht das hier irgendwo? Ach da, ja, wir sind im 2. Ja, dann haben wir noch Gott sei Dank ein bisschen Zeit, dann können wir ja erstmal erkunden gehen. Gott, ich habe schon einen Herzinfarkt gekriegt. So, machen wir das Übliche. Gehen uns erstmal die Quests abholen.
Professor.
Hi. Weiter. Hi.
Claude von Regan. What an interesting character. Underneath that compassionate exterior, he was always cold and calculating. Ordinary fools run headlong into combat without even considering the possibility of defeat. But to consider one's chances and to prepare for plans to go awry, that takes real intelligence. I have to say, I am impressed beyond words. I have a request for you.
Ach, wieder Ressourcen.
Claude von Ordinary, but I have to say.
Oh, haben wir die gar nicht. Was willst du denn haben? Oh, wir haben Unterstützungsgespräche. So viel auf einmal. Ja, würde ich sagen, machen wir noch ein paar Unterstützungsgespräche zum Ausklingen. Oh, das wird lustig.
Ah, that fragrance. Could it be? Ferdinand, I cannot help but notice the exquisite tea you're drinking.
Not many can appreciate it, let alone recognize it. I'm impressed.
Perhaps you would be so good as to indulge me with a cup?
By all means. Allow me to pour.
What a delightful aroma. When I close my eyes, I feel as though I've wandered into a rose garden.
Such a precise, poetic description. But please, drink up. No need to stand on ceremony.
How gracious of you. Very well.
Lass mich raten, jetzt schmeckt er nicht?
Flavor, fragrance, and hue, all in fine harmony. This is a most superior brew. And in a market saturated by pale imitation, no less. You did well to acquire such fine fare.
You are clearly quite passionate about tea. And more than just passionate. You know what it takes to brew a fine cup. To say nothing of your flawless etiquette and sterling attentiveness.
Certainly. Proper etiquette at tea time is one of the surest hallmarks of quality breeding. And the extent of one's attentiveness is quite often indicative of the depth of one's character. The ability of a person of fine stock to exhibit a rich quality of character is precisely what determines whether one is worthy to be called noble. And all of that can be seen in how one handles such a simple thing as a cup of tea.
Ah, marvelously put, Lawrence. I can tell you have given much thought to this subject. And if I may, I have always considered you to be the very model of noble comportment.
Oh, likewise, this has certainly been an extraordinarily meaningful cup of tea.
I wholeheartedly concur. Before we part ways, I would like to offer you some of these leaves.
Truly? Well, I'm flattered, but I cannot simply accept them without offering something in exchange. You simply must allow me to host you in turn, by way of recompense. We shall drink from House Gloucester's finest teacups and enjoy the loveliest of its cakes.
That sounds exquisite. I look forward to it.
Oh Mann, ich wusste, dass das großartig wird. Zeit fürs Gegenteil.
To find the analog of your beauty in nature, I can turn only to the lily. Only that flower is so sweet and so delicate as to approach your loveliness. Why, just look at these soft, delicate fingertips you have. It is as though they could blossom into fragrant lilies before my very eyes.
If you're so wild about flowers, why don't you try a flower shop? Ugh.
Oh, wow. That was... I'm sorry I saw that, but I am so glad I saw that.
Oh, did you not realize? I was only testing her. Any woman who is taken in by such simple flattery is ill-suited to my noble disposition.
Oh, okay, I'm glad you explained it, because I thought you just got rejected. Just flat out, no way to make yourself feel better about it, rejected. And the reason, your nobleness, is because that is really not the way you go about hitting on a girl.
Oh, is it not? And I suppose you consider yourself an expert on the subject.
Pay attention, kid. Maybe you'll learn something. When I saw you, I just had to come over and say hello. Because finding you here feels like fate. Maybe we could go get some tea. Get to know each other better?
I think you must have mistaken me for someone else. Someone who cares. Please excuse me.
Exquisite. Simply masterful. When is the wedding?
That's weird. Girls usually fall for that speech. You must have spooked her.
To think that the noble House Gautier would be blessed with such a graceful and charming heir.
Please. I'm a much better heir than a self-important failure like you.
This is not worth my time.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Jetzt, wo ich so die Supports lese, fällt mir nicht auf, dass Lorenz von seinen Eigenschaften ein Mischmaß aus Ferdi und Sylvain ist. Er ist ein Adeliger, der sich viel darauf einbildet, adelig zu sein und den Frauen hinterherläuft wie Sylvain. Ja, das kommt hin.
Lysithea, do you have a moment? There is a matter of significance I'd like to discuss with you.
I know you're always seeking the attention of ladies, but why are you wasting your breath on me?
Don't be silly. I'm here to discuss Fódlan's future.
I'm not so sure I'm the one being silly. Actually, I'm busy. Stuff to do.
Now, hold on just a moment. House Ordelia will never benefit from such a narrow-minded mentality.
I was under the impression you were interested in me as a person. What do house matters have to do with anything?
The world is in ruins. Have you given no thought to how the Leicester Alliance might address this crisis?
I couldn't care less.
House Ordelia may be small, but a small house is fettered by fewer obligations than a larger one. Apply yourselves actively in diplomacy, negotiate wisely, and you could do much to help maintain peace among the neighboring lords. The recognition of those lords would benefit your house immensely. To that end, why not start with me, the heir to House Gloucester? It couldn't hurt for us to become friends, could it?
Yes, of course, when the time comes. But right now, I'm quite busy. Maybe later. As it is, I'm studying magic for the benefit of Fódlan's future, and I would appreciate it if you left me to it.
Ah, I see. Then forgive the intrusion. I will take my leave of you for now. But if there is any way I can be of help, to you or your house, I hope that you won't hesitate to ask. After all, as I'm sure you know, the future of all Fódlan is my responsibility.
The future, he says. As though I have a future.
True. So, Lenny, mit wem kannst du jetzt eigentlich supporten? Ach, auch mit ihr.
There you are, Lysithea. I've been looking for you. So, I have a hypothesis about your crests.
I know you're the one who sent me that anonymous letter. There are things we must discuss. Ugh, it sounded like some bizarre love letter.
What? No, of course not. However, I wonder what you would have done if it was.
Now I'm just confused and grossed out.
I'm sorry, but that is not the overall topic of discussion. Do pay attention.
Pay attention to you? As though anything you say is worth listening to. It's not like you can tell me anything I don't already know.
You don't have a very positive opinion of your crests, do you? That's why you should listen to me. I've dug through all my books, and there's no record of anyone being born with 2 crests. You are, to be blunt, an impossible occurrence. For you to have a second crest, it must have been forcibly implanted after birth.
Is that your theory, then?
Yes, it is. To further the theory, if the power exists to implant a crest, then it must be possible to remove one, too. And that is the real issue at hand.
I could have one removed?
That's what Hanneman is working on understanding. I'm helping him with it.
Professor Hanneman?
Based on your reaction, it seems you want one of your crests removed. I don't think I'd give up having 2 crests if I were you.
Is that so? Even if you'd gone through horrifying experiments, endless trauma, and if you knew that all this pain meant you'd die very, very young? That's what you'd think? You're completely lacking in empathy, so of course you would make such a crass and foolish assumption.
Oh. So. Dann beim nächsten Mal. Hi. Wo wir gerade über dich geredet haben.
The battle ended without House Ordelia getting involved. Although, I've no desire to continue on with my family. So from here on out, it's up to Edelgard. I have Claude to thank. Ultimately, this ended without the Alliance being entirely consumed by this war. It's all thanks to Claude.
Ich bin froh, dass wir den haben leben lassen. Im Gegensatz zu Wilder. So, Karte bitte. Wir werden uns beim nächsten Mal ein bisschen noch umsehen. Wir haben hier noch 2 Quests, die wir machen können und wir müssen unsere Fähigkeiten noch ein bisschen erweitern, wenn wir dann irgendwann mal nochmal die Klasse wechseln wollen. Und, ach ja, Klassen wechseln wollen wir auch nochmal. Da haben wir, glaube ich, nur das hier, ja, die Pegasus-Klasse zur Verfügung. Schick uns da jetzt erstmal wieder rein, damit wir wieder fliegend unterwegs sind. Und beim nächsten Mal werden wir dann Dinge machen, von denen ich noch nicht weiß, was wir da machen werden. Aber wir werden sie tun. Und ich hoffe, ihr seid dann auch wieder mit dabei. Würde mich sehr freuen. Und ich verabschiede mich wie immer mit einem Ciao. Ciao.